we are about to start our celebrations. There's been a little bit of hold up in proceedings, so we are just going to allow the star of a certain play whose name I can't mention, the Scottish play, well, the Wigton incarnation of the Scottish play. I'm just going to allow that star to get her breath back, and we will have a good crack between now and 4, celebrating 70 years of Wigton Theatre Club. Time might be a bit tight, though hopefully my next 2 guests are here for a little while, because you have a big gala night to prepare for, Kate Jensen and David Ross at the John Peel Theatre in Wigton, celebrating 70 years of Wigton Theatre Club with, well, I don't want to say with a bang, because I better not tempt fate, because it's that play, oh my goodness, that we're not allowed to mention the name of. Good afternoon anyway, Bo.
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon, Helen.
Yeah, so hopefully I got quite a few bits of snippets of information in that introduction, and I know, Kate, you've had a bit of a rush to get here.
Yeah.
And I don't want to sort of mention your character's name, but let's just say you are playing the main part beginning with M in this play beginning with M that we're not allowed to mention.
Yes, although the play itself is actually called The Scottish Play, so we can mention that. And although it's based on you know who, it's a rewriting by David, so it's a completely reimagined version, and it's very funny.
Well, this is, I've been reading this, a witty reimagining, a slapstick as well has been mentioned.
Yeah.
How have you done this, David?
Well, I've actually taken the play from start to finish, and then just reworked it, thinking, well, if Shakespeare wanted to write a pantomime or a farce, what would he do? And so you will see things that you would see in a pantomime. There is look behind yous and things like that. Oh yes, it is, and oh no, it isn't. But there's also slapstick and farce as well. And so yeah, it's what I thought. Maybe if Shakespeare thought it was time to write a pantomime come farce, this is what he would write.
But it's very clever, because it follows a story arc, and everything's in there. It's all there. And in fact, somebody came out of the audience yesterday saying they now know more about you know who than they ever did through school about the story.
Isn't that
so the story
amazing?
is it's there and it's presented, so it stays true to a lot of elements of the character arcs and things. So yeah,
but well, I mean, it's interesting. And you're playing central character. Well, is he the central character? I don't know. Or is it his lady? I don't know. That could be debatable, perhaps. But certainly in this version, I know you've got rather a lot of lines to learn.
Yeah.
What's he been doing to you?
Yeah, this one's got the main character. I was going through my lines on script rehearsal. I stepped in when the main character dropped out through work commitments and things. So while everybody else had a couple of months of rehearsal, I was kind of thrown into it, and I was looking at script rehearsal and all the lines. And the next one is Lady M, who's kind of, I think, got about 95 lines, and then the next one is my lines, 184 or something. It was ridiculous.
So double your nearest.
Yeah, so it's been a real learning curve. Literally, I've had lots and lots to learn, and I'm still kind of nervous that I'm going to lose my big speech or something, but it's all all right.
But you've done really, really well with it.
Yeah, it's all right. I think they're mostly there now.
Well, and this is quite an interesting concept to get your head around, because anybody who has ever seen or sort of has a vague idea about that play, that character, the M-word character, I mean, you wouldn't think of him as a comedian, as a comedic figure at all.
No, not at all.
And where the slapstick might come in.
Yeah.
Well, he's the stooge of his wife, I think,
Yes.
and that's where it comes in. And he believes in what the witches tell him, as the real guy did in the original play. But then he has lots of self-doubts, which his wife tries to dispel quite forcibly.
Yes.
Yeah, yes.
What, with a frying pan?
Yes. But no, I wrote one scene in which Kate has a very long monologue, which includes quotes from 5 different Shakespeare plays. So there's little snippets of soliloquies, which all make sense when you listen to it. And that reminds me, there is a competition to get 2 free tickets to our pantomime each night. I have a sheet which I give to people and say there are 8 other Shakespeare plays quoted in tonight's production.
In the Scottish play, yeah.
If you identify as many as possible and they fill in a form, and then the winner will get 2 free tickets
to
each.
Robin Hood.
To Robin Hood,
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah. So, but it is, I'm quite nervous about getting all the bits of Shakespeare right, because there will be people in the audience who go, oh, that wasn't quite right. You slipped up on that one.
So why did you choose this particular theme? I mean, you haven't taken the play verbatim, obviously, as your celebratory, as your, well, not quite all singing, all dancing, but your gala event play.
Well, we're very keen on actors of all ages at Wigton, and I wrote this so that we've got the cast from age 11 to 75. Is it?
Oh no, because Mum won't like me to say her name on thing, but yeah, no, older than that.
Yeah. So and it was a good thing to have as part of the celebration, because it celebrates our ethos very much, that we are a family theatre. Yeah. And in fact, we have got 3 generations acting in this play.
Yes. Which would be your family.
Yeah, my mum, me and my daughter. So yes, so she's got from the youngest to the oldest almost, I think. But yeah, so it's really nice to kind of have that sort of all 3 of us on stage, which is great. Not quite at the same time, except for the walk down. But yeah, so that's nice. But we're celebrating 70 years of productions. So the first production was January 1953.
Yes, I've been looking it up.
Yeah, that's right. Yes and No, I think it was called, the first production. And so we wanted to celebrate 70 years of entertaining Wigton, basically. And this was the sort of the production to end the year, because the next production is the Panto, which of course is next year in February half term.
So you'd have passed the anniversary by then, wouldn't
exactly.
you?
So this was the big production to celebrate, really. But next year we have another celebration coming up, because we'll be having 60 years of the John Peel Theatre, because we've been in that building for 60 years.
Yes.
So yeah, so we'll two double parties.
All these anniversaries coming up. And so how did the first night go down? Because I know it was first night last night, tonight's your gala night.
Yes.
Well, the first night, and it's really good when you're acting on stage, because I've got a part in it as well, and you hear the audience laughing their heads off.
Yeah, that makes a big difference.
And what's really great for the kids who are acting in it, because during rehearsals they don't hear all the laughter, and so when they come back into the green room after a scene, they're buzzing, because they said they're all laughing, and it's great. And then the feedback from the audience coming out. I was a little bit worried maybe if 1 or 2 people are coming expecting to see the Shakespeare version.
Yeah.
So we have said on our website, it's my reworking of that.
Yeah.
It sounds quite an irreverent reworking, if you don't mind me saying.
I think that might be a fair word.
It's quite a thing to take on. I mean, there's all this Shakespeare stuff around at the moment, isn't there? But, all this celebration of him and his role in English literature and all of that. And here's David just...
Well,
tearing it apart.
I was quite lucky because the Green Room in February put on my reworking of The Merchant of Venice, which I call The Merchant of Vienna, in which I turned it on its head, and Shylock was the hero, and was a really good guy, and the bigots were some other people. So you've got form, is what you're telling me. I'm afraid so. Yes.
And it strikes me as well. I mean, aside from, I suppose, what could be a barrier to some, the Shakespearean language, the elements of the witches and all of that. There's that kind of the supernatural side of this particular play, perfect for cross-generational appeal.
Absolutely.
As well.
Yeah. We have done previous Shakespeare productions. We have done the original version of the current play, and we've also done Romeo and Juliet twice, actually, Romeo and Juliet, and next year we're planning to do Midsummer Night's Dream. And so we've got quite a good, we're building a good reputation for producing accessible Shakespeare, because we do an awful lot of cutting, and actually that's where my dad comes into the equation, because he's our Shakespeare editor.
Is your dad involved as well?
Yeah, he is, and he's very good at cutting the scripts so that they are pacey and tell the story really clearly, and we've had feedback on those that, you know, people have come out of there with a better understanding than they've ever had of the stories and the play. So we like doing that as well. And so yeah, it was only a few years ago that we did our first ever Shakespeare in the theatre, and that's something we want to continue to do. So yeah.
And so when it comes to audience, you know, who do you attract, and you know, what sort of changes, if any, have you seen in that over the course of more recent Witch Theatre Club history?
We've worked really hard to become a community theatre, and our aim is always to open our doors as often as possible, and to bring in as much variety in as possible to attract different audiences and things. So we've recently just launched a new venture, Folk at the John Peel.
I've seen this, yes.
Yeah. So we had a fantastic Charlie Dore, who came and performed with Julian Littman in September, and that was a great concert. We're virtually sold out for that, and they're coming back next December. And we've got John Kirkpatrick coming on the 8th of December, and we've already sold nearly half of our tickets for that. We think that's going to sell out. So that brings in a new audience. Then of course we have all the family audiences for Panto in the half term, and then this one very much family orientated, good for all ages really, isn't it? So
it is, yes.
It's just trying to get as much of our community in as we can, and our aim is to provide accessible theatre at a reasonable cost, so that it's you know, so everybody can get to the theatre.
And I know you're very good at you know, providing opportunities for young people to learn, whether that is actually on stage or off stage, on the technical side of things. And I don't know, I always get the impression whenever I talk to any of you guys, whether that be some of the cast of the pantomime from last year or whoever, I just, the word warmth comes to mind. That's the vibe that I get from pretty much all of you that I've ever met, really, to be honest.
That's good. That's great.
Yeah. Well, everybody has an equal chance, irrespective of age, to perform and to also support. I mean, our assistant stage manager for the production, Cassie, is she's in still not quite GCSE yet.
I think so.
Edward, who is our light engineer, and we've got some super light effects.
Oh, I've heard of Edward before.
Yes, and Edward is he must be in year 8 or 9 now, is he?
So something like that, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. And we've got quite a few youngsters that are interested in sort of learning the tech side of things as well as being on the stage. We're still running our Saturday morning junior workshops, and we've got children from age 5 in that, up to year 6, and then we've got our senior workshop, which is secondary age, on a Wednesday. So, but although we have those two separate workshops, we never sort of separate for productions. Everybody has sort of equal chances in the productions.
You all look in.
Yeah.
Well, I found that some of the what was year 6 last year, 3 of those who've moved into our sort of like our junior group rather than our
now gone to secondary
group,
school.
They're now to secondary school. They were really keen on having parts, so I actually wrote in extra parts for them.
Yeah.
Oh, this is the joy of having a resident scriptwriter,
Yeah,
isn't
absolutely.
it? Pretty much.
Yeah, and our junior group, we'll be trying to get them all into the panto as well, and making sure that they're involved with that. So, yeah, we call ourselves a theatre family, and we really are. And through everything that we've been through, ups and downs, and we've had some really low points, as you know, through COVID and things, losing very valued members, much loved members. We've all supported each other and lent on each other, and that is, you know, a really big part of what the theatre group is and provides. It is a family, and everybody, we've got welcome new members all the time to get involved in any way they like, really. Backstage, front stage.
Yeah, because we've got a new tech person. Toby has joined us
just recently,
and Toby is running the sound for us, and we've also got a couple of new actors who have got parts in this play. Very enthusiastic actors, and so we're always happy to see more people coming in into the theatre of any age as well.
But I think the warmth you talk about, that's been expressed by lots of new people who've joined us. They've come to production and then they've felt that and wanted to be part of it, which is lovely, because that's what we want. We want everybody to feel welcome, and we work hard to be inclusive. And
it's wonderful that you are, clearly so vibrant. 70 years on, and very proud of your history. But you're evolving, and I suppose meeting needs as well.
Absolutely. Every sort of generation, I suppose, of members and committee, all the past chairs, each sort of generation has done their bit to bring the building more into the modern age and to progress the kind of productions that are done. We're just adding on to that and bringing it up to 2023, and it's thanks to all of those past members, past chairs, that we are still the vibrant community that we are. And we're hoping to see representatives tonight from some of those past chairs at our gala night, so that we can say thank you to them as well. But
well, very special evening tonight, your gala night, but that's not the end of the Scottish play story at all, because you've got Saturday night performances and Sunday
matinee 2:30,
which is rather a nice thing, I think, especially this time of year. If it's a horrible day, what better option could you have than to go to the John Peel Theatre and have a right good belly laugh?
Well, and also if people realise, and particularly the younger people realise, it's not the staid Shakespeare that they get to have to forced to study at school, which I do poke fun at that as well at one point. And we had feedback. One woman said that their 7-year-old son thought it was brilliant last night, and it's aimed at everybody. And yes, a good laugh. And some good belly laughs. To say, those who are used to a pantomime will recognise things.
Well, a slapstick Scottish play, and a fantastic evening, I hope, ahead for you. An evening of celebration. 70 years of Wigton Theatre Club, and going more than strong, I would say, at the John Peel Theatre in Wigton. Don't forget Saturday performance and Sunday performance of the Scottish play.
Plenty of tickets left for Saturday, Sunday.
Excellent. Well, Kate Jensen and David Ross, thank you so much for coming in this afternoon. It's always a pleasure.
Thank you for having us.
Thank you very much.
Yes, well, enjoy this evening.
Thank you.